Hi, good afternoon. My name is Phil Baratelli and this is Kim Sapienza and Mark Wilson. And our group project is on e-learning. And to set this up for you, what you're gonna envision is really a board meeting or a leadership meeting of a private school known as e-learning university. E-learning university is a fictitious school set in the Southeast in an urban setting. It's a startup university. It has less than 2,000 students, largely a traditional population. You're gonna witness sort of a board meeting that talks about adding an e-learning program and the positives, negatives, and technology behind it. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy it. So Kim, Mark, thanks for being here today. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you guys did a bunch of research, talked to people, looked at a whole lot of peer-reviewed articles, periodicals, and so forth. And today what I wanted to do is go over some of our findings on e-learning, do an overview of it, do the pros and cons, and let's come to a decision here and decide how we want to move forward. Okay, great. So Mark, you want to sort of talk to us about e-learning, the origin of e-learning, the benefits, the negatives, and sort of how our team here at e-learning university can proceed.
Yes, we thought e-learning would be the best path forward for our university in order to grow, within the university, because of, businesses around the world are requiring that their employees are better trained, but for lack of time and cost, e-learning would be a good resource for businesses. For a little history on e-learning, believe it or not, it started back in the 1800s in Great Britain. And then it progressed throughout the years. But truly in 1999 is when the real seminars and training through video tapes and things of that sort. Before it morphed into online email and CDs. Some of the benefits of e-learning would be that the total cost of e-learning, it can be cut down to up to 50%. It'll be less loss of work for employees, for adults that have young children. They can actually do their work from home.
So thank you, Mark, for that overview of the benefits and the negatives of e-learning and also some of the background to e-learning. But what I really want to focus on now are the specific benefits for e-learning university and how e-learning can help our organization succeed. So Kim, can you help us with some of that?
Right, so e-learning university is a smaller university when we're located in an urban area. We only have about 2,000 students right now. And we've done really well with bringing in traditional on-campus students, but without e-learning programs within our departments, we haven't been able to bring students in from other geographical areas. So an e-learning program will help us, increase the number of students that we have. It will diversify our students, and it'll help our campus or our school grow without building new buildings on our campus, which we're not really able to do because of where we're located.
So Kim, thank you for that. Mark, what I'd like to do is talk now a little bit more about some of the type courses that are offered and some of our competitors and what is out there. Maybe if you can go maybe a little bit more granular into the benefits.
Yes. Let's say, for instance, in an organization, you have employees that need a specific type of training. In the past, you would have to actually buy them a plane ticket, buy them a hotel room, and pay for the training, as well as lost time on the job. With e-learning, you're able to only pay for the training and a small amount of time required to take the training online right in your facility. And with that, it won't take away from staffing. So that's a benefit. There's also some free training tools out there, educational tools that
Can you help me with some of the negatives?
Yes, one of the major negative that a lot of people look at it is face to face. Where they used to having an instructor in front of them talking and being able to put your hands up in the air and says, "Hey, I have a question." Well, you can't really do that. You'll have to use it in the form of emails or texts, and a lot of people like a quick response, but our professors would actually be required to respond within 30 minutes. Another negative would be the honor system. You would want your students to be honest, and when you're taking a test, we're not taking a group test. We have technologies that we're going to incorporate that would help eliminate some of that, but there's still they're going to have to sign an honor statement saying that they're going to honor it. Then the other negative would be to know if the student is engaged with the class. So in the synchronous method that we're preferring to use, with that's going to allow the professor or the trainer to ask questions to the students, to have them to respond, but it will be done. It won't be in a verbal. It will be in a instant message. So if they're not in front of their computer, if they're doing something else, then they wouldn't respond as fast. So then that would be interaction. Then all the other students would see that instant message, but it would be directed at that student at the same time. But with that, there's not very many other negatives.
And so when we put one of these degree programs together, ultimately we're going to be judged on how employable our students are.
Correct.
So can you help me with the acceptance in the marketplace of an online degree versus call it traditional brick and mortar degree?
Well, our school being accredited school, that speaks for itself. So whether it's online degree or a traditional classroom degree, I mean, it's accepted throughout the industry. Well, 10 to 20 years ago, they were probably less accepted because of people not really understanding how it really worked. It was 1999 is when it really broke onto the scene, and a lot of people really didn't understand it, or it wasn't explained to them, how it really worked. But now it's just accepted throughout the industry from an accredited university, because there are so many stop gaps that making sure that the online student is getting the same as the traditional student.
And their diploma is going to say the same thing?
Yes.
And so we would coordinate with the Career Center that online students would have an opportunity to interview in the same process that the physical resident students would?
Yes.
Okay, terrific.
Yes, because what you're speaking of is a school that has the title as online. Mm-hmm. Ours wouldn't have the title online. It would just be e-learning.
Terrific.
So e-learning is a little bit broader than just online, because that's saying that it's a mix between traditional as well as online. It's just not strictly online university.
Do we think when we add e-learning, that those will be incremental students to our existing population, or is there potential we cannibalize them? So
no, it would be this, reaching the students that work full time, that has a 40-hour a week job, with children at home where they're worried about daycare, even people with possible health issues. And then, I think we discussed this a little bit earlier as students that feel that peer pressure or intimidated when they're in a traditional classroom and they won't come out of their shell, so they just much rather not, go to school.
Right.
So this would be an avenue for them to get a degree.
Right. That's terrific because we want one of the aspects of our university here is lifelong learning, and we expect our students to have multiple careers throughout their lives, and if this sort of takes a barrier away, that's a great thing.
Yes, most certainly.
So thank you, Mark. So Kim, I know you spoke with Dr. Christine Sapienza at Jacksonville University about how she runs and implements the e-learning program at the College of Health and Sciences. Can you speak a little to us about the successes there?
Yeah, so they're a startup program. They just recently implemented their online learning program, and even though there's only about 3,500 students at Jacksonville University, they're servicing over 1,000 students just in their program online. So they started this program to kind of reach out and get more students and get their name out there and try to compete with some of the bigger colleges. And they offer fully online degrees, and they also offer just undergraduate prerequisite courses.
From an infrastructure standpoint, did JU just build this on their own, or what? How do they do it?
Right. Well, because JU is so small, they had to outsource to another company called BISC, which is a huge company. I mean, even UF outsources to BISC because JU just doesn't have the resources, which is probably similar to something that eLearning University would have to do because we are such a small university. We would have to outsource.
Right. Now, do they use Blackboard? Is that used in this program?
They use Blackboard for some of the prerequisite courses, but for the fully online degrees, Blackboard isn't even used. They use fully BISC.
Okay. Now, so did they implement e-learning to get a competitive advantage, or did they had to do it to stay competitive?
Well, I mean, they could have, chugged along without e-learning, but in order to compete with all the other nursing programs that are out there, they almost had to offer an online program. And in order to get their name out there geographically, they needed to offer online.
Phil, well, now I think it's time to kind of wrap it up, put a bow on this presentation and the interview with Dr.
Sapienza.
Sapienza. So would you come up with some of the considerations and recommendations from the College of Health and Science?
Certainly, Mark. Thank you. We got some great insight from Dr. Sapienza. The main thing she said was, look, first determine the capacity and decide, can you do it in-house or do you have to find a third-party outsourcer? I think given the size of the university we are right now and our growth plans, it probably makes sense that we partner with a third-party outsourcer like this too. Yes, we will give up some revenue, but it'll allow us to get our name out there much bigger, and also sustain our growth. And so, I think that's the way to grow quickest. The other thing I think that we learned from our research and discussions was on our programs, I think we would like to go synchronous method to where our instructors are communicating directly with our students at a certain point in time. All those lectures will be recorded, so it can be viewed asynchronous too, and the students can come back to it as they need to go over things. And so really, I think after all the research and the investigation we've done, e-learning is definitely a way I think this university should proceed. In conclusion, when you think about e-learning, the benefits far outweigh the negatives. We talk about, first of all, having reduced costs to deliver education with no geographic constraints. There's total scheduling flexibility. As I just said, we can have synchronous or asynchronous. the enrollment is incremental to our existing enrollment. We can make e-learning university be as big or as small as we want it. It's all an online presence. So to me, this is a perfect opportunity to take a small urban campus and grow it, worldwide. The negatives, well, it's tough to replicate that true in-classroom experience. If you have to get your hands on some sort of medical device or something, it's going to be tough to replicate that. But we'll get around that. The future is growth in e-learning. So we here at e-learning university want to be part of the future. So I think we move forward with a strong e-learning program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.